Women are often seen as some of the most complicated beings on the planet. You see, it can often defy logic when you focus on how a woman is being. However, men now seem to have cracked the secret to understanding how women imply their attraction toward the kind of man they like. Yes, unfortunately, very few women are direct and upfront with their feelings. For the most part, men would have to discern or even decipher whether she likes them or not. Fortunately, followers of this channel will be in for a treat as we uncover some of the most powerful signs that a woman's into you. Why do men have to seek signs in women? To many of you, it might seem like women are simply wasting time and frustrating themselves when it comes to dating. You see, men will easily acknowledge they find someone attractive, even though they still keep their personal feelings to themselves. This is what makes it somewhat easier when men communicate. Unfortunately, women react quite differently, and this is due to their innate fear of what might happen. You see, most women are unwilling to directly offend others, and the last thing they want to do is deal with rejection. Since women are uncomfortable in dealing with these things, they would much rather prefer to have things implied and to have what is known as plausible deniability. This plausible deniability is extremely powerful for women looking to preserve their public image and to ensure things are looking more positive for them. What this means for men is that women will be rather passive-aggressive, often wanting you to figure out things for them. The same is true when showing their affection toward others. Whilst this has become quite an accepted state of affairs, many men are still battling to understand these unique signs, and they might often miss some of these signs, which could potentially have pushed the relationship in a different direction. But to address this frustration, we'll be looking into some of the most powerful signs that she's into you in this video. By the end of it, you should be better at deciphering the age-old question of, does she like me or not? Number 1. Grabbing your attention. One of the most unique aspects of women is how they often focus on grabbing the attention of either the crowd or those around them. You see, women are not as willing to use their words to directly say something, but would rather do something out of the norm to directly grab your attention. In fact, most of the signs you'll see on this list are designed to actually grab your attention in a very subconscious way. You see, the first thing starts when she gets dressed, and whilst she might not deviate from her natural dress code or style, she might make a few unique changes. Her clothing could be somewhat more revealing than normal. Perhaps one of the best signs of change taking place, where she's trying to get you to see she likes you, is often when it comes to things like how she dresses. Yes, she might decide to wear something more revealing, but her hair might also be done uniquely and powerfully, which should imply that she likes you. Many men might notice these changes, but they're often unsure about the direct meaning of them. Fortunately, when a woman's willing to make some direct changes to herself and her appearance, a reason for this should be found. If you happen to be the new person in her life, there's one massive possibility that this could be you. Number 2. The eye contact rule. Eye contact is one of the most fascinating concepts, and one of the things that people quickly forget about. You see, the eyes are extremely powerful, and they're also a sign of vulnerability and strength. Psychologists believe that a man willing to look someone in the eye despite their vulnerabilities is often stronger mentally. However, when it comes to women, this is not necessarily the case, and women historically prefer not to make too much eye contact, since they believe it to be very revealing. Women also have a tendency to submit naturally, which means they'll look to the ground and avoid staring directly into the eyes of another person. The trick here comes in when we consider the fact that making eye contact can be intimidating. So this means that she's willing to overcome this massive fear, and now she's also willing to directly look you in the eyes. Another key reason for the importance of eye contact is that it simply means she's also giving you the attention you need when communicating. You see, it's extremely important for two people to give each other the necessary attention when it comes to these signs. So, in all essence, if you happen to notice that she's making more and more eye contact, you can also be quite sure that she's attracted to you. This also refers primarily to social settings and does not apply to business meetings. However, these rules can be directly applied to virtually any situation. Number 3. Communication improves. The world has become an extremely busy place, and nowadays everyone is running around trying to accomplish something and building toward a future. Most men following this channel understand the importance of working hard and building something for their future. But the problem with this is that communication seems to have dwindled. Gone are the days of texting each other frequently, and now social texting platforms are mostly a way of communicating things like dates and to talk about some important things. However, what you'll find is that the pattern of communication can rapidly change when she likes you. Perhaps the most obvious sign would be response times. Yes, this means that you'll quickly see her change her times of responding to you, and in some cases, these responses could be quite immediate. On top of this, she might even text you first, with the idea of establishing some form of communication. Once you see a woman willing to take some of her own time and focus on you, it's a sign that she's willing to sacrifice something for you. The problem is that many men miss this, and they are unaware of the fact that women also make sacrifices of their own when it comes to dating. Men often miss this, but the mere fact of constant communication should be a powerful sign that shows you she's willing to actually make these changes. Number 4. A slight hint of nervousness. Have you ever felt butterflies coming up in your stomach when you spend time with the person you adore? Well, this is a very natural feeling that most people feel when they find themselves in situations where the future might not seem as it was predicted. You see, women deal with this at a much higher rate than men, and this is why they often might flake out on you, and in extreme cases, they might even ghost you. However, a woman will possibly show signs of being nervous when she's around you. This can manifest itself in a variety of ways, like fidgeting with her hair and even feeling the need to constantly adjust her appearance. The main reason for this is that she's established her desire to date you, but now she needs to figure out if you feel the same way. A woman simply getting cold feet is not uncommon, and it happens to almost everyone when those doubts of possible rejection enter the mind. Keep in mind that this does not mean that you're at a fault, but stems from the possible insecurities she carries with her at all times. What we should mention is that this is only a small part of the process, and most women will show some variation of feeling nervous around you, and this is one of the things that men misinterpret. It is wise to keep in mind that women naturally gravitate toward flight, especially if we consider the importance of fight and flight. Number 5. Spatial occupation. Have you ever found yourself going to a new place with your friends and meeting others? One of the first things you'd see if you happen to study the behavior of each person is that everyone will naturally gravitate toward the person they know. The same applies to women, and you'll see that if she likes you, she will naturally want to be around you most of the time. As daunting as this might seem, it shows that she trusts you, and this trust comes from the attraction she has. Women will often squeeze themselves into some of the most ridiculous areas, simply to be as close as possible to the person she likes. Additionally, she will not naturally tend to contribute to conversations, but would rather join in when you have established some form of dominance. By now, you might have noticed that women naturally tend to ensure they are always in a protected position, but the mere fact that she's allowing you to lead should be the most powerful sign that she trusts you. Since we have established in some of our other videos that men and women have a hard time being friends, this directly means that she likes you. When it comes to a woman occupying the space around you, it can be in a physical presence or just by doing so with the way she joins in conversations. The next very important step has to do with what she's actually willing to contribute in many of these conversations. Number 6. She praises you in public. Another thing you need to realize is that people are quite selfish. You see, every person is focusing on survival, which means that it's more natural to focus on talking about yourself instead of having to blow smoke up the rear end of someone else and feed their ego. Now, a woman who likes you will often be so obsessed with what you're saying that she might even remain silent and just listen. The great thing is that she's retaining information during this period of listening. One of the most powerful forms of attraction that often occurs in conversation is that, when she feels comfortable enough to contribute, she's extremely likely to talk about you, and in many cases, she'll even brag about you to anyone willing to listen. This can be rather daunting when your friends are around, but let's face it, who doesn't want a woman who's constantly bragging about her partner and wanting the world to be like him? You should also be aware of the natural detective instinct of many women. You see, she's not only focused on bragging about you, but also cross-referencing the stories you've told. Since women know men tend to lie about certain things, your friends and public conversations will often be one of the best places for her to see what kind of person you tend to be. It is also the downfall of many men when it comes to dating and lying. Number 7. Showing public affection. Showing affection is another truly powerful step in any relationship. For this, both people need to be open and comfortable with one another, and for it to happen in public, the comfort levels between each person are that much higher. But women tend to show their affection toward men in public for a variety of reasons. Not only is it a ploy to show him that she likes him, but women also do this to show other women that they've been taken. Once the relationship has progressed to a level where both partners are willing to be so public with each other, you've basically uncovered one of the most powerful and unique tools that will naturally simplify your life as well. As a man, nothing makes you feel more like a king than having your queen show her affection and loyalty in a public way that will often allow her to show everyone else that she's your partner. Number 8. She asks about your dating life. Curiosity is a very powerful thing, and whenever two people meet each other, it's often a fight to see who can close the information gap as soon as possible. However, men generally focus more on themselves and how to improve their lives, which can be why women have more information. If she truly likes you, you'll find out that she'll start asking you questions about your past and more specifically about your previous relationships. The main goal for this is to try to figure out the type of person you are, but also to discern the possible reasons for your unsuccessful relationships. To make this seem more practical, women will ask you questions about previous relationships and try to figure out how you treated the other person and who she is. Now, women tend to go even deeper and might even try to talk to the other person to make sure. The great thing is that her willingness to put in the effort to do this is what will ultimately lead her to becoming more and more attracted. It's also quite essential that you show the kind of man you are, especially if you want to have her feel comfortable around you. Number 9. Meeting close friends and family. If you've been following this channel for a while, you might have heard us talk frequently about the importance of close friends and family. You see, we all have people we trust, and we want to protect them from others until they have proven themselves worthy of meeting. Men are far less worried about the opinions of others, but for women, it can be rather complicated when it comes to friends and family, and they would rather avoid such situations from occurring, especially if this can create some tension. So, when you notice a woman actually inviting you to meet her close friends and family, it directly means that she's willing to take a risk with you and ensure that others can see what person you are. A woman allowing you to meet her closest friends is perhaps one of the most powerful ways to gauge whether she actually likes you and trusts you or not. Women are often labeled as extremely complicated beings, but the fact of the matter is that everyone remains human, and she'll have the same fears and problems as you. This guide and signs are powerful and should be your way of judging her attraction level. But make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to know how you can make a difference when this happens.